Oh, people, what is up, and welcome to my Payback 2017 review. And, wow, what do we have to say about this show tonight? A lot of things with this show, really. Um, which was more a little bit good than bad. I will say that. It was a bit more good. A decent to okay pay-per-view. I think it was some good matches tonight, but we'll kick off with the first one. One was the pre-show match. I did not see. I was gone during that time. I only saw a little of it. It was pretty much Enzo and Cass beating the club, so I don't really care, and I kind of knew they were going to win. It was just kind of like whatever to be whatever. I thought club needed the heat, but it didn't work for them. The Finn Balor and Miz segment was pretty good. The crowd was interested into it, and Finn talked about him trying to go after Brock Lesnar and talk about Miz not being part of the Balor Club. He didn't got my ass kicked by the Balor Club, and he took out Miz. Miz, I swear that guy's not working out on Raw so well. But first official match tonight, Kevin Owens went against Chris Jericho for the U.S. title. It was a really good match. Jericho was super over out there, and which this is really a surprising finish to this whole match, really, especially after Owens was trying to use his finger once again, like he did at WrestleMania, the one finger after breaking the walls of Jericho. Jericho saw it, and he pretty much started stepping on Owens' hand all over the place, and he put into some steel steps and kicked his hand in. I don't know if this whole Face of America thing is going to keep going to Canadians fighting for an American title. It's kind of funny. But when Kevin Owens tried to go for a pop-up powerbomb, his hand was hurt, and Jericho pretty much hit the walls of Jericho, and he pulled him back from the ropes, which pretty much got the win, which was very surprisingly. So pretty much now, Chris Jericho goes to SmackDown, and Kevin Owens goes back to Raw, which I thought Jericho was losing, because I thought this was it, and he just go back to do it in his Fozzy tour, and we'll see him in probably 6 months or whatever. But I thought Jericho was losing, but Jericho won. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know if the tour was pushed back for Fozzy, maybe the tour's coming up, or maybe there'll be some type of thing on SmackDown. This was kind of a swerve tonight. People were playing a lot of these matches tonight with odd finishes, swerves, and stuff, Vince Russo style. But Jericho, he did pick up the win. He is the new U.S. champion. I had no problem with it. I was happy he won. I was just surprised that he actually won, because a lot of us thought he was on his way out the door. We wouldn't probably see him for over 6 months. But as of right now, Chris Jericho is on SmackDown, and Kevin Owens is on Raw. Neville went against Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship, which was a good match. I think the WrestleMania one was better, but it was a good match. But the finish, once again, if I was one of these swerve finishes again, DQ finish, it was an okay finish. As long as Aries didn't get pinned and stuff, because he did get pinned at WrestleMania. So it pretty much ended up with Neville pulling the referee after referee's shirt over and knocking him down after Aries had the last chancery in and stuff. It was a good match and everything. It wasn't a bad match. The crowd was somewhat in. Some of the times the crowd was a little bit hot tonight. Sometimes, but the finish, I was like, I thought Aries would have had it. I don't know what this means for Austin Aries next. I don't know how many title shots we can give this guy, but Neville pulling the shirt and DQ finishes. So yeah, that's kind of the thing with that. It was a good match. I don't know. The Cruiserweight, I would say, good match between these two. These two usually put on good matches, but this whole Cruiserweight division is just very bad. It sucks, and it's like I said before, it's been too many transitional champions on this show, and I don't watch 205 Live, because after what I've seen on there recently, it's garbage. It's garbage. One of the best matches of the night, the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Ass fans chanting, delete, Brother Nero, obsolete, which Matt was still playing into, broken thing. I don't still know if that whole case is over with them and Anthem. Like I said before, I've said many times, I love the broken gimmick, but I don't trust WWE and Vince McMahon with it. And I'm sticking to that, because I don't know what will happen until then. But a really good match. Hardy's took a rough night for the Hardys. Also took him from a beating standpoint. Jeff lost a tooth out there. Um, and everything. And Matt, I swear something happened to Matt's head. I know it was when Sheamus did that white noise on him, but after that, Matt's face was very bloody and bruised. His head was, his forehead was bleeding and stuff. It was a really good match. People were into it. Jeff pretty much hit a swanton bomb after Matt had tagged Jeff, and Sheamus, took Matt down with a body slam, but pretty much Jeff hit the swanton. It was over, pinfall, and after that they shook hands. And then when Matt and Jeff were still in the ring celebrating, Sheamus and Cesaro started beating them up, and pretty much it was bro kicks and everything. He took Matt out with a bro kick. So yes, they are heel. It was a really strong outlook. Fans were into it. But then again, we kind of saw this coming a mile away. I've been seeing it ever since the first time they shook hands, and the next week. So it's like, alright, they're turning heel at the pay-per-view. If they don't turn heel, I don't know what to say. And they kind of needed another heel team right now because the Revival is hurt, and they won't be back till probably July, and that's very unfortunate for them. So somebody had to turn heel here. So Sheamus Cesaro taking him out was pretty much one of the strong dynamics of this whole feud, and I guess intensifies it a little bit more. Bayley went against Alexa Bliss for the Women's Championship. The Raw one. Bayley got a big pop. I hope it sounded like a big pop, but it was big. And, I kind of knew who was going to win this match. It was a good match, alright? It was a good match. It wasn't great, but I thought it was a good match out there. And it ended up with Alexa Bliss beating Bayley for the title. Clean, by the way, clean. After she knocked Bayley's head into the post and stuff, the turnbuckle post. And after when Bayley tried to go for a small package, Bayley, pretty much Alexa Bliss dodged it, hit a DDT, and won the championship. Well, that's 2 title changes tonight. Listen, I'm not surprised at the title change, and I think I know this. I'm sure some people may have been shocked. The reason why I'm sure a lot of people may have not been shocked, in my opinion, and we've seen this before, is when you're in your hometown, you seem to always lose the title or lose your match. And we've seen this multiple times. The only person, somebody said this on Twitter tonight, that, one of the only times people have ever won in their hometown was Naomi at WrestleMania. And I would say CM Punk also in Money in the Bank 2011. I can't name a lot right now, but every time. When Sasha was in her hometown, she lost the belt. When Charlotte was in her hometown, she lost the belt. There's several thousand names I can, even Punk and others that have been in their hometown, but they lose the match. They will not go over. Yes, they get a big pop, but we kind of knew they were losing the match. Alright? We kind of knew they were losing. So, I'm not very surprised, and I know some people, it's like, see that, or that, the people in the back are really hot on Alexa Bliss right now. Which I think she's great on the mic. Just like I said before. Great on the mic, in the ring, yeah, I think, it's okay, and it kind of showed a little bit out there tonight, but they put on a good to decent match. I will say that, and they now said that Alexa Bliss is now the first woman to hold both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, which is somewhat surprising. I guess it's surprising in a way, but it's like I said, I knew she was gonna win this match because WWE has this whole thing where you have to lose in your hometown. So I'm not surprised at that. And you think they could have, break that thing once in a while. They got to do it at WrestleMania, but it's like I said, Bayley's losing this thing tonight. It was just predictable. It was very predictable, in my opinion. But a good match, though. Yeah. Sorry, I had to take care of something right there. But, as I said, predictable in my opinion. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in this it's a no holds barred match now. House of Horrors. And dude, I will say this right here, and I've said this many times coming into this match. The final deletion, I kept saying it's going to be the Great War, or the final deletion is better than this. And I thought this was laughably bad, and the crowd didn't like it either. To what I hear, and even looked on Twitter tonight, that the crowd chanted boring during this match. First off, Randy Orton showed up in a limo. Why in a limo for? In the middle of nowhere, with a house that was lit up blue, and Orton's going, what the hell, and stuff. First off, Randy Orton showed up in slacks or something, pants, and no shirt. Which I'm glad he did not show up in wrestling gear, because I would have laughed out loud if he showed up in wrestling gear. Sorry, like I said, he showed up. Why did he show up in this? And in this house, he looked for Orton. There was a track there moving. He looked in the house and saw this stuff in this very... Listen, this whole match looked like the Resident Evil 7 video game, okay? This was Resident Evil 7. Picture Resident Evil 7 in this match. Just picture this. And he sees Wyatt in the house, and then Wyatt attacked him from behind. He threw him into a wall, and Orton took him out, but Wyatt went to another room. When Orton was walking, he had a trash bag and grabbed him by the throat like a video game, it felt like, trying to grab him. Orton then went into this room with all these dolls and like scissors and stuff, and Orton picked up one of them until Orton, Wyatt attacked him, and they went through this wall and stuff, and then they went into a kitchen, and they fell on the ground for several minutes. Very dirty also. And Orton was going to take a frying pan and hit him, but Wyatt kicked him in the balls, and he threw a refrigerator on him. He put a refrigerator on him. So, God, so bad. Oh man, the final deletion was better than this. Oh man, I'm sorry. I was focused on something else, but yeah, like I said though, this whole thing, he put a refrigerator on top of him, and then he went to the lawn and said follow the buzzards, and he turned the house from blue to red. So what, is the house now on Raw or something since it went from blue to red? I don't understand that. And Wyatt, heavily breathing, he looked like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He crawled his way somewhat back to the limo, which it was still there for some reason, and he told the driver to take him to the arena, and he started singing, he's got the whole world in his hands, and this match was to be continued. So I don't know. So I'm thinking Orton's about to pull the Undertaker and tell Wyatt in the back, where to, Wyatt? That's what I'm thinking. But they pretty much, I don't know, how is he getting out of the refrigerator, number one. But this is to be continued, so we'll get back to them in a minute. Samoa Joe went against Seth Rollins, which I feel like that whole House of Horrors thing kind of took away from their match. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I forgot this match was happening. I forgot. And they put on a good match. I will say that. Between Joe and Seth Rollins was there selling that knee injury still for some reason. They're still selling that injury. Still selling the knee, which was worked on throughout the whole match. You know, Rollins over hit a Falcon Zero and everything, but when Joe tried to go for the sleeper, Rollins kind of rolled over, and Rollins got the pin clean for some reason. You know, it was a win. He got the win and he got out of this, so I was surprised Joe did not still keep his unbeaten streak going. I was surprised to see that. Okay. But like I said, storm's about to happen. Seth and Joe had a good match. Sorry, I was really telling my friend about this on the match also. I'm sure people get mad at me looking at that phone again on this show. But like I said, it was a good match. And I was just surprised that Seth Rollins went over. I thought Joe would keep this streak going. And Joe was killing him out there. Don't get me wrong with that. He was killing him out there on that knee. But I was surprised to see Seth Rollins go over. And then when we came back to the arena, the limo came back. Wyatt was pretty much coughing. I'm sure there's a lot of bad dust in that house. Coughing and trying to make his way to... He did his full entrance for some reason. And then next thing you know, Randy Orton with the power of teleportation, or maybe he Ubered himself there, pretty much hit Wyatt with a chair and took him over to the broadcast table and DDT'd him. Pretty much after that, he pretty much DDT'd him and stuff, and he threw Orton. Orton hit him with another chair. He threw him back in the ring. He was sending him up for a RKO into the Singh brothers, or the Bollywood boys there. And I kind of knew this was coming. It was an overbooked thing. They tried to take out Orton, but Orton took them out. He hit Wyatt with an RKO. Jinder Mahal showed up with the WWE title and hit him 2 times. And Wyatt hit the Sister Abigail, and it was over. Dude, this whole match was just bad. I'm sorry, I did not like this. This was laughable. This was overbooked, very bad, like laughable though. And I sat there and looked at it and said, wow, the final deletion in the Great War was better than this stuff. I just thought them fighting very silly in a broken, abandoned house was just odd and funny at the same time as they laid on the kitchen floor for just so long. That felt like it was forever. That was my opinion. It felt like they were there forever. So that was just insane to me. And, you know, Orton with the teleportation, the house turning from red to blue, and it was just laughable. It was just that funny and stuff. And I understand why it just kind of needed his win back, but once again, why wasn't the WWE title on the line? Why didn't Wyatt get his rematch clause? Why did you not even put the title on the line for this? That's what I kept saying, like, the title is not on the line, so this match is meaningless. It means nothing. Nothing. And Wyatt, once again, he could not do this on his own, and, you know, Mahal comes out, and, he got heat for it, too, so, I don't understand this whole Mahal push, but I think I've already spoke about that already, and I just sat there, this was just laughable. This was just, it was funny, but it was just, like, laughable. It was just so bad that it was funny, type of thing, and how overbooked it was, and Wyatt barely getting to the arena, coughing his way up there, and it was just, in the crowd chanting boring didn't help also. That didn't help. So it was just bad. But we got to the main event. Probably one of the best things of the night was Reigns and Strowman. Reigns coming out all taped up and everything and stuff. And he tried to go after Strowman. He had to rely on his agility and stuff. And until Strowman pretty much got him, and pretty much once again Reigns was kicking out of everything after he did 2 Superman punches and, you know, doing spear, and, you know, Strowman did that triangle choke thing, not triangle choke, but some type of choke move in the ring, and then he hit him with a power slam, and then he picked him up and power slammed him again, and then the fans chanted, "Thank you, Strowman, thank you, Strowman." I think this was all designed to get Reigns sympathy, but it reminded me when Triple H came out there and beat him up, kind of like a few weeks before WrestleMania, and people were chanting Triple H and saying "suck it," and he got a huge babyface reaction, and once again Strowman, he left a big babyface reaction out there, and they chanted "Thank you, Strowman." They brought a chair and at the steps into the ring, and he put him through the chest, but you could see him have the blood capsule in his hand, and this lit up on Botchmania, as people said, and he dropped it. And, I saw the blood capsule, and he just, fake blood, and I saw him put it in his mouth, and, when they tried to help Roman out of there, they chanted, "You deserve it, you deserve it, you deserve it," and even continued on the whole Raw Talk thing, which they tried to get into the ambulance, but Strowman tried to take out Roman again, but Roman got out of there in the nick of time, and pretty much kept beating Strowman with the ambulance door, and then Strowman ran off from Roman. So I guess they had to make Roman strong in one way also. So it was a good main event. I'll say that. It wasn't bad. I'm sure people loved it when Roman got the living bejesus kicked out of him. And it would have made sense if he came back after 2 weeks after he was literally killed in an ambulance. So, yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, it was a good main event. I'll say that. So, yeah, it was this match, some odd stuff in here, yeah, but the crowd believed it, they were into it. Will Strowman, I don't know if they're going to continue this Roman and Strowman thing, or will Strowman go after Lesnar at this, and dude, don't even get me started on Great Balls of Fire. Whoever came up with that name needs to be deleted. I said they need to be shot, but even somebody told me I was taking it too far. So I just say delete them for making up that title. I don't know how much Jerry Lee Lewis they were listening to that day. Oh, Great Balls of Fire. Let's go watch Great Balls of Fire. You want to see Roman versus somebody with Great Balls of Fire, or Brock Lesnar for the title of Great Balls of Fire? Who cares this match? Dude, that whole thing's going to suck. Okay, it's going to suck. Okay, you could try to book this well, but naming a pay-per-view Great Balls of Fire is the most retardedest thing I have ever heard of. That does sound retarded. But, getting back to Payback real quick, I don't even want to get on the Great Balls of Fire thing. There's a lot of things that went down tonight. I thought the main event was good. There were 2 title changes, even though one of them was very, very predictable. Sheamus is our turn in here. We saw that from a mile away, but it was good. I really did think there was a lot of good matches tonight. Only one of the problems I had with this whole show was the very bad House of Horrors. I just did not like it. I'm sorry. You can disagree with me if you like, but I did not think that was a good match. It was not to me. It just was. I just thought they tried to be finding relation too hard that it was that bad. Okay, it was. Like I said, the title matches were good. I thought the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro probably one of the best matches of the night, even the main event too. So I thought that was really good. Seth and Joe, which I thought was a good match, but I don't know if the whole House of Horror thing took away. I'm gonna be honest with you, like I said before, I forgot this match was on the card. I really did. It got to the point I was like, oh yes, Seth versus Joe. I forgot about that match. And they put on a good match, even though I didn't think Seth needed to win. It just kind of felt forgettable at one point because I just forgot it was there. Yeah, I really did. So Payback usually delivers and stuff, even though it was a very horrible go-home show they did, which is just stupid. I don't know what this means for Bray Wyatt next. Most likely he will go against Finn Balor and lose to him so decisively. So he will most likely be killed by Finn Balor next. Because I don't know why this match wasn't for the title still. And Roman, like I said, the Roman Strowman thing, we'll see what happens next. But I knew they was going to make Roman look strong one way, even though he had the crap beaten out of him. He still walked out on his own. He never got into the stretcher. He just somewhat bled from his mouth, even though he saw the blood capsule, and he still somewhat took out Braun. Go look at the Raw Talk. You don't believe me, go look that up. So it doesn't make him look like I'm lying or anything. So, yeah. Payback, like I said, pretty good show. I'll give it that. Wasn't that bad as I expected. A couple bad things here, but hey, you check it out and you can be determined also and check out this review. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.